Now, Arch Manning has taken up almost all of the college football oxygen this week. And that's a lot to do. I mean, he is the biggest name in the sport from football royalty over the past 40 or 50 years, probably ever. But there's a lot of good games, right? Clemson and LSU are two of the three best rosters, I think, in the sport today. But like Texas and Ohio State, the thing is, they're both going to end up in the playoff. I mean, people, it's a good weekend. It's a cool weekend. There's a lot of stories and drama. Everybody you see that matters is probably going to end up at the playoff anyway. So what happens in week one isn't deciding the season for LSU and Clemson, nor Texas and Ohio State. No matter what happens, Arch Manning, whatever he does against Ohio State, he gets 3 weeks of putting up crazy numbers against bad programs. But the most fascinating and possibly impactful, and you're going to laugh, and you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to be more responsible than you. I know what you're going to do. I know you are. I know as soon as you hear the name, I know where you're going. And I'm not going to go there for a while. The most impactful game of the weekend, and I think the most interesting story of early in the season, is the experiment that is Bill Belichick at North Carolina. Fair or unfair, and I do think this is how it's going to play out. He'll be judged by opening weekend. We're not going to watch again. Here's why. The Belichick experiment at North Carolina. See, I know what you're doing already. I know where you've gone already. And come back here, please. Come back for this discussion. Don't go to Jordan. All right? Don't do it yet. But that game, he opens with TCU. That's a Monday night audience. It's one of the few times anyone, anywhere is going to watch North Carolina football. And for most people, it will be the first and last time you watch North Carolina all year. So will the Belichick experiment work? North Carolina opens at home against a good TCU team. I'd take TCU to cover. North Carolina's picked, 8th or 9th in the ACC. They're paying Bill Belichick $10 million, and that puts him in the top 10 among coaches' salaries. He's created, there's a very good story in The Athletic today about the Belichick experiment. And I think it's really interesting for all of you because the tentacles of what they're trying to do and whether or not this works. And I have a theory, and I almost feel sorry for North Carolina because I think I know how this ends. And again, that has nothing to do with his girlfriend. Stop it. I feel like I'm talking to one of my kids. Focus, everyone. Come back. But they're paying him $10 million, and he's created this pro template at North Carolina. And that's what makes the Belichick experiment even more interesting. He just took exactly what he's done in the NFL for a long time, this template. And apparently he is ridiculously detailed about how things go. None of it has to do with alumni or students. It is football science. So does Bill Belichick, the headline I think of The Athletic is, does Bill Belichick reinvent North Carolina? I would say if he is successful. I think a lot of it's going to be judged on game one. Does he largely reinvent college football the way you know it? Does it open the door for coaches to come in? Look, this is giant money in college football. College football is easy compared to the NFL. The contracts are giant. They're long-term. There's very little risk, unlike the NFL. If they adopt the Belichick template, if the Belichick template, football science only, no friends, no alumni, none of the stuff that comes with college, does it mean more NFL coaches would come and try to do the same thing? He's got a lot to prove. In fact, it may be, this is why I'm saying that TCU-Carolina game on a Monday night, it might be the most impactful game certainly of the weekend, but maybe for a while. Okay, he has a lot to prove. He couldn't get hired by an NFL team. He's 15 wins away from passing Don Shula as the winningest coach all time, but yet the old man could not get hired in the NFL. Now you're going to say, well, Jeff, because he tried. And so Carolina was a fallback. So he took his experiment, he took his template, reportedly, and said, Okay, I'll coach college, but I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I think Carolina had to hire him. I mean, it's, you could say they mistreated Mac Brown. It's probably true. Everybody likes Mac Brown. But Carolina had no choice. Either that or they just stay in mediocrity forever. And so they said to him, apparently, look, sure, do all that science stuff. Don't worry about students. Don't worry about alumni. Don't worry about anything college-wise. Come back and do the NFL here. And that's what he's done. He's put that in place. You can't say he didn't get an NFL job because he's 73. Pete Carroll got hired by the Raiders, and he's 73 or 74. And he has 6 fewer rings than Belichick. So why didn't the NFL want Bill Belichick? And will the NFL want him? Here's the part to think about. Will the NFL want him if he makes North Carolina any good? And any good kind of starts with that big game against TCU, because I think everyone's going to tune out after that. I've said for a long time, and that is that players in college programs, they're there to get to the NFL. That's what they think they're doing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be at that college at all. And so they're desperate for it. So run a college program like you would an NFL team, and that is exactly what Belichick is doing. The Athletic just lays it out in a bunch of different ways, how this really is an experiment. Okay, check out some of these numbers, because they think it's working already. $7 million more. This is at North Carolina, where they don't give a flip. And by the way, it's a beautiful campus, beautiful town, great school. But they don't care about football. They're expecting to earn more than $7 million more this season in ticket sales compared with last year. $750,000 increase in merchandise and concessions they're anticipating already. Athletics donors has grown to a record $22,500 and $18 million raised. That's up 37% since they've hired Bill Belichick. The school has received, and I know why they got most of this, and I know what most of you are thinking, what most of you really want to talk about. The school received 183 media credentials for the opener against TCU. That's the most they've ever had. In fact, they don't even think anything's come within half of that. So everybody wants to watch. Everybody wants to see I know why. I know. I know what the media is about. Her. But the Belichick experiment is a thing. I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's a guy saying, I won't do anything like college coaches. And they've said, sure, give it a shot. Okay, and here's the thing about coaching in the NFL versus coaching in college. The NFL, of course, is light years better in every single way than the college game. The on-field product it's not even comparable. And, of course, that's talent related, right? The NFL is the best, 1,700 players on the planet. But a lot of it has to do with coaching and training. There is no recruiting. There's no alumni golf. There's no photos with rich guys. You don't have to kiss the ass of rich people. You don't have to suck up to parents. They don't do anything like that in the NFL. It is all science. You just work. And the Athletic says Belichick has brought this whole template to the college game. Now, the story makes it sound like North Carolina is giddy about Belichick. And I think a lot of you are right. I mean, look, this is sort of must-watch. And it's not must-watch because you want to see him. He's got the terrible body. Does he look homeless? You're going to see his girlfriend. There's all that ancillary stuff that I get. I do. But the football part of this is pretty fascinating. And I can't help, see if you agree with this part. I can't help but believe North Carolina gets burned. I don't think this is long-term. Or maybe you do. But burned can come in two forms, I think. All of a sudden, if we look up and go, wow, that North Carolina program that was 500 under Mac Brown, that has not been in the top 10 since, I think, 1997. I believe their record over the past 25 years is exactly at 500. It's just meh. And football in the state of North Carolina to people there is meh. But if he has success, an NFL team wants to bring him back, I think he jumps at the chance. I think they get burned that way. I think he set up his buyout, which went down to $1 million in July. I think the whole thing is set up. And I'm a little confused. This shows me the difference between NFL people and college people. It's really when you read the article, and it's 20 pages long, and you sleep. I don't. But they're giddy. They think they got it all figured out for the next 20 years or so. They think, oh, gosh, the scientist has come here, and he's putting this plan into place, and all of a sudden we're going to matter in football because we matter right now. When you matter right now for about a week, for a couple of reasons. One, the most famous coach of all time is on your sidelines. Two, the most famous coach of all time who looks like a troll has a 24-year-old girlfriend who is a paparazzi sensation, and her mom owns a sex shop. That's why everyone cares. But can he bring the science and only science? He's not even doing one of those stupid coaches shows, and they're stupid. But I think he bolts first chance. Will somebody want him? Let's say, because if they were to beat TCU, that's a lot. I'm telling you, that TCU team is a good team. It was good. It was a good team late last year. They won 9 games, and I think Sonny Dykes is one of the best coaches in the sport. I don't know why people don't make a run at him all the time. I think you're crazy not to. You beat TCU, and I believe TCU's a 4-point favorite. He has reinvented North Carolina football. It will make him instantly marketable to the NFL, and I think he goes. I think he'd go in week 2 if somebody called him. So I think they get burned. And then the other part where they could get burned is, what if they really are 8th in the ACC? What if they're really not that much better? Like, how long do you let him hang out there? You got a 73-year-old coach who looks 83, and you got a circus of an act for a girlfriend. Let's just say they are mad. Let's say it doesn't look any different than it did a year ago, and TCU rolls them. What do? You can't fire him. What happens when TCU beats them? And I think they will. Is it a buzzkill, or is he there for a few years? Let me put this whole thing, because I know what you want to do. You see, you're irresponsible. You want to talk about the girlfriend. And I'm going to give you a minute of Bill Belichick girlfriend talk. And my Bill Belichick girlfriend talk is this. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a meme. Apparently, the two of them have put a trademark on the term gold digger. I thought that was a joke. I really did. Nope. The two of them, the loving couple, and he looks worse than ever. He's gotten fatter. The man has breasts now. Large. But the two of them, because she wants to get in the jewelry business, so she thinks, it's so pathetic. If you have a daughter, isn't this piss you off? Like, don't we aspire to more than this? I mean, there's a dad part of me that's disgusted by this whole thing. And now you want to trademark the term gold digger, and you think that's cool, and you want to launch jewelry behind it.
Jordan Hudson is embracing the criticism. The girlfriend of Bill Belichick appears to be poking fun at her nearly 50-year age gap with the former NFL coach. According to a United States Patent and Trademark Office filing viewed by E! News, Jordan's company, TCE Rights Management, has filed a trademark application for the name Gold Digger. With the August 25th application, which is still awaiting review, showing that the 24-year-old plans to release jewelry and keychains under the tongue-in-cheek brand name. E! News has reached out to Jordan's rep for comment, but hasn't yet heard back. The former beauty pageant queen and New England Patriots coach first made headlines when they started dating in 2023, going on to receive even more scrutiny after a tense on-camera exchange involving Jordan during.
Can we have a show rule put in place immediately? Can we never hear that person's voice again? That Ron Burgundy sounded like she's a 9th grader somewhere. Okay, so there's your fix. You do what you want with that stuff. I think that's disgusting. So here's an easy way to wrap this whole thing up, because I think The Athletic really paints an interesting football picture to this, like the whole Belichick science thing. And I think a lot of people are going to say the reason why the NFL doesn't want him, Jeff, is that the NFL believes it was Tom Brady. Okay? Can he do something at Carolina that makes you not think that? Because I think the Brady thing keeps people from hiring Belichick more than the old man troll thing. Because it looks like the minute Brady walks out the door, he goes to Tampa Bay and wins another championship. And the minute he walks out the door, Belichick has a losing record and he's huffy and he gets fired. So what does he do? Can he do something in North Carolina that makes, if you owned a team, if you own the Giants, the Jets, the Saints, any of the teams that always suck, would you say, you know what, we were wrong about Bill. Look what he did at Carolina. Let's get him. Would you? I do a quick buy or sell to this. Think of it in this terms. Buy or sell. Bill Belichick is the head coach at North Carolina in 2030. Or you want me to say, I'll do this. Buy or sell. Bill Belichick is the head coach at North Carolina in 2028. I sell. Hey, here's a recommendation backed up by my own experience, a great experience. And that is, I've been a client of DJC Law, and I can tell you this. You're going to get three things with DJC Law. You'll notice it right away. The difference is you will get peace of mind. They will take care of every single detail perfectly, and you will get the result you deserve. If you're injured by the negligence of someone else, fighting with an insurance company for any reason, trust me when I tell you, you will need DJC Law. Dan Christensen and his team of attorneys have a remarkable track record. I've known Dan a long time. He's a military vet. He's board certified in civil trial law, and I've been a client. So you can trust them. You will get the result you deserve. Check out teamjustice.com, and you'll see thousands of 5-star reviews. The bottom line is, if you're in an accident, you need DJC Law. Contact them right away. 512-888-9999.